Welcome to the Drunk Linux User. I'm Len. I am the Drunk Linux User. And from a Linux user point of view, sometimes it's really easy, sometimes fun, and apparently at times obligatory to kind of trash Microsoft. And simply because they're such a behemoth and because a lot of people don't like their business practices and the way that they go about their software. Well, I don't necessarily do that, although sometimes I can't help myself, but I used to work as a beta tester in my Mac days for Microsoft with the Microsoft Office team, and they're an incredibly great group of people who really tried hard to come up with a great product. And so I can't really, I can't 100% just bash those people. I know them, and some of them are, not all of them, obviously, but some of them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into this little business over here dealing with Edge again. And because of that, we have this Microsoft Edge product that they've come out with. My goodness, the seagulls have come in. We have seen some additions to the Microsoft Edge browser coming through the pipeline, and it's really starting to take people's attention away from how fast it is, which when it first came out, a lot of people were saying it was amazingly fast. I don't know, I've seen Edge being used on my son's computer, but I have never used it, so I'm not really sure exactly how fast it is. He loves it, so good for him, but he also loves Microsoft. Regardless, there has been a lot of controversy lately about Microsoft adding too much Cruft or bloatware or just junk to their browsers. And I'm going to bring up some web pages here that I'll leave links in the show notes for. This page says, some criticize Microsoft for strengthening Chromium, fearing that the move would give Google even more power over the future of the internet. Others likened the leaner version of Edge that offered better web compatibility and performance than the old version. If you were dealing with Internet Explorer before, you know how much they needed to have a change of some kind. Even if they would have just glossed over Chromium and instead of calling it Edge, called it Internet Explorer -C or something, I don't know. It was still needed. Companies and organizations that relied on Internet Explorer technology can use the Internet Explorer mode of Edge to continue using these applications and services. So people weren't left high and dry when Microsoft decided to change over to Edge, but what they're doing now seems to be a little bit over the top. Many users on Windows 11, Microsoft's newest operating system, are getting frustrated with the company's efforts to keep the Edge browser the system's default browser. So if you click on like an email link to go to perhaps a big box store, and you're expecting your, say, Chrome browser or your Firefox browser or Brave or whatever to launch, no, not so much. It's going to be Microsoft Edge. And every time people find a way of being able to circumvent that, Microsoft comes back and changes it back. So people are getting a little frustrated with that. In the past 2 months alone, Microsoft added a controversial Buy Now, Pay Later feature to Edge, which critics say may incentivize Internet users to make purchases that they may not need or can afford otherwise. Most of these features can be turned off, but they're usually enabled by default. I don't use Edge, okay, so I'm not really sure how much this actually impacts performance. But one of the concerns that I would have would be with cookies and the ability that Microsoft always has with its software to phone home regarding anything that you may have gone to visit, the type of items that you're trying to pick up off the internet, whatever. So as a privacy point of view, for me, I'm not a big fan of it. Continuing on, though, this page, all the unnecessary things Microsoft added to Edge in 2021. I was surprised. I really was. They say, seriously, Microsoft is adding so much stuff to its web browser that it's starting to feel like bloatware. Edge will give you a loan. If you make a purchase between $35 to $1,000, you can buy now, pay later option directly from the browser. Websites will do that, but have you ever known a browser to offer that for you? Presumably, Microsoft is making a cut from these transactions, so it's easy to see why the company is offering it. Well, of course. Microsoft is not an organization that is doing things out of the goodness of their heart. They have profits to maintain and to achieve, so the people who are buying their stocks are going to make money. I mean, that's their fiduciary responsibility to these people, right? So if you're a stockholder in Microsoft, sure, this may be a little inconvenient for you, but you don't even have to use Edge. You can use something else if you don't want to, but you want Microsoft to put this stuff in there, because the more Microsoft makes, the more your dividends, right? It's just business. So can I blame Microsoft for it? No, they are a corporation. They're in the business to make money, and they are doing that. The other things that you can do with Edge is you can track prices. Microsoft tracks the items you're looking at and lets you know if there's a price drop. Once again, it's a privacy issue for me. If I'm looking for Coleman stoves and tents and maybe MREs or something like that, simply because I want to go on a 2-week backpack excursion, I don't want somebody to sit back and go, I bet this is a survivalist. I know maybe it's out there, but maybe it's not too. The company describes it as helping to alleviate some of the stress by helping you keep an eye on products you've recently viewed and alert you to the changes, but it's probably just a way for the company to collect some affiliate revenue from your browsing habits. Again, they're in the business to make money. They're not just doing this as a philanthropic adventure in the internet. Alleviate some stress. My God, if you're that stressful about saving $1 or $2 on something, or maybe even $20 or $50, maybe you don't even need that product. Maybe you should be going to some place like, oh my God, I almost said eBay or Amazon. No. It has a bunch of free MSN games too. Microsoft is currently testing a gaming feature in Edge. I spoke about this before. That'll quickly link you to a bunch of games you probably don't want to play. And from what I understand, these are more like the free games that you can get off from MSN. So, again, I mean, I like solitaire. Okay, it's the only game I have on my cell phone. Why? Because I just don't play games, right? I've said that before. Edge will show you product reviews. Microsoft has decided to build reviews right into Edge, which is useful when shopping, and another seemingly unnecessary piece of bloatware when you aren't. You can get extensions that do all of this as well. It doesn't have to be baked into the software. And just as a thought, it could have been that a decision that they could have made would have been to put all of these features in as extensions that could be turned on, off, or perhaps even customized by the user, but instead they're putting it right into the browser, and you have to turn them off. They're on by default. Remember that. Okay. Office in the browser. When it's part of Edge's context menu, it's almost impossible to avoid it, and it feels like it's just a way for Microsoft to sell you a Microsoft 365 subscription. We go back to this is a company that's in it to make money. They're obligated to their shareholders. There has been a lot of software that has come out for free, and I think that for a lot of people, we take a look, and myself included, we take a look at the free as really, really, great stuff. Some companies are looking at it as a way of enticing you to come in and purchase something. Again, I don't really have a problem with that. It's just, how much are they smacking you in the face with that, which I'm going to get to in a minute, and how much you're willing to give up in the process as well. I cannot tell you not to use or to use Edge. This is your choice. If you like these features and you don't care what Microsoft looks at or how many affiliates they're going to be selling your information to and making even more money, and you're getting more stuff in your mailbox, if that's okay with you, then go ahead and get it. If you avoid that kind of thing, look elsewhere. Okay, there are other browsers, and they are very quick as well. Now, getting back to the slapping you in the face, I had a very good laugh yesterday when I went to one of my favorite sites, OMG Ubuntu. Firefox, I love you, but can you shut up about Mozilla VPN? Apparently, Joey, when he opens up his Firefox browser, is getting ads on his homepage whenever, or his launching page whenever he starts his browser. And he'll even admit he uses Mozilla on many different systems and even in virtual machines and whatnot. So he sees this more than the common person will. But if you are not familiar with how to take care of this, I can imagine that this is definitely annoying. So Mozilla is trying to garner some revenue by their VPN, and I think they have a couple of other services they're trying to sell as well. So what they're doing is they're putting their advertisements in their browser. And it is not a bug, it is a feature, and it is a feature that you can turn off. But again, if you're not sure exactly how this works and you're just thinking I've got a safe browser and I'm going to go on the internet, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm getting hit with an ad. It's like, what the heck have I just gotten into? Is this another Microsoft product? No, it's not. But it's annoying. It is. But you have to understand, this company needs revenue in a different way than Microsoft does. The Microsoft organization gets donations, and it gets help from corporations as well. So, for example, Google actually supports Mozilla, oddly enough, but they do. And this is how they make some money. Well, Mozilla's made some decisions over the last couple of years that have kind of turned people off to the corporate practices of the company. So, and every year you see that their user base is declining quite a bit. They keep coming out with some new features, and they keep testing things on people, and if you don't know that you're being tested, then you get a little bit annoyed when you find out, oh, they've been doing that, is that why I've got this? And so nobody is perfect. Nobody is in it just for the sheer love of the game. It's for companies like this is going to be about generating revenue. They've got lights to keep on, they have employees they have to pay, in some instances they have shareholders they have to coddle. So this is just business, folks, just business. If you just take a moment and even just do a quick search, how do I turn off XYZ, using whatever search engine you want to use, you'll find the answer. Go in, make the settings. If they pop up again, it's probably because there was an update and something else changed. Change them back, move on. It is frustrating, it is a little bit annoying, and in Joey's case, I really do feel bad for him because he has to test a lot of stuff, and if this is coming up every single time, I'm sure it's about as annoying as being slapped with a wet towel every time that you walk into a room. Yesterday I had gone through why I didn't like the GNOME desktop for my workflow. I love the look. I love the smoothness of it. Everything about it is very, very pretty and nice, but it just doesn't work for me as well. And one of the extensions that I had talked about to make it look more, for example, like Linux Mint, is to put a menu in here. So you just click the button and there you go, menu, right? Is Arc Menu Extension. They've just come out with a new release, and it has some new cool features to it. And one of them is something similar to the menu system used in Windows 11, which is really funny because as soon as Windows started showing what they were going to be doing with Windows 11 with that middle menu that pops up, the KDE desktop, boy, somebody was on it just like that, and they had one too. There was a way that you could change your layout so it looked just like Windows 11 except better, in my opinion. But that's KDE's a beautiful desktop. Well, Arc Menu is providing a similar service, and they're also giving you a pop-up standalone menu search tool as well, which is really, really nice. I used to use this an awful lot, about maybe 5-6 years ago, but I don't use that type of feature anymore. I just use the super key and type in what I want, and it's kind of the same thing, really. I see the results, okay, as you're looking at it down in the right-hand corner, backwards, I don't know, of the panel down at the bottom, and I just start typing and, you know, just find what I want, hit enter, and I really don't have to move from there. But if you're using GNOME, if you want to use a different kind of menu, something that doesn't make the screen go whoa, whoa every time that you want to try to open up a program, then Arc Menu is probably what you're looking for. And if you want to do that whoa, whoa thing again, okay, maybe I'll do that in slow motion. Probably not. All right, folks. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been a heck of a 2021, hasn't it? I've had a lot of things to be grateful for. We had our son come in from China to live with us. He's almost completely Americanized now. He only needs to get a couple more things. We moved into a garden spot of the world. I'm still making videos. Health is fine. Getting reconnected with relatives I haven't seen in years. So I can't really complain too much about 2021. All the other nonsense has not really affected me, and I hope it hasn't affected you either. So remember our words of wisdom. Don't drive drunk. Don't drink and drive. Don't go to eBay, Amazon, or MS Edge all buzzed up thinking you're going to buy something that's really cool. You're probably not. Happy New Year. Bottoms up. Later, dudes.